Hey now, what's up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I just got done watching Supergirl, the special crossover episode that I think lots of us have been waiting for. It was entitled World's Finest. Awesome. At the beginning of the episode, we see the character Siobhan, who was the assistant of Cat Grant, the one of two assistants, but she got fired because of something that Kara did to her when she was on Red Kryptonite. And at the end of the last episode, she fell off the roof of a building, found out that she had these sonic screaming powers, I guess, and they couldn't really figure out what was wrong with her. They knew that she had these powers, but they didn't know how or why. She's sort of wigging out. She's getting all of these visions and voices from, I don't know if it was a split personality thing. You know how I feel about that. But I can't deny that I felt a little bad for Siobhan. I mean, she seemed like somebody who wasn't that bad of a person. Sure, when we first met her, she was a bitch. But when we revealed why and her background, her past, and how Wind sort of got close to her, I did feel bad for her. And even here, it's almost like she didn't have control over this curse that I guess was put on her family. Now, she goes back to Cat Grant, and at first I thought maybe she was going to kill her, but then no, she turns and shrieks at Kara. She falls out of the window, and then the Flash saves her. What? Yes, the Flash. Very cool. Very cool. I loved how he didn't even realize she was Supergirl. He brought her out in the middle of nowhere and was like, "You're on fire," and then she just is like, "I have to get back to the city." Takes her clothes off. She's wearing the Supergirl outfit underneath her clothes. I should add that. And she flies off, and Barry's reaction of like, "What?" I liked how when he raced back up to her and they went back and forth, I'm like, "Who are you now? What? You're a superhero too?" And just the whole idea of the Flash coming here from his world, the whole alternate dimensions or the Earth 2 thing that we have been going through on the Flash. So I don't know how many people are watching Supergirl and this is all hitting them like, what? There's multiple Earths? What? Huh? Who? I'm sure it might sound confusing to them, even the scene where Barry Allen was like explaining how all of this works. It's like, sure, us Flash fans know all about this, and hell, it makes perfect sense. But I really am curious as to people who are just watching Supergirl, like, what do they think of this? Was this too much for them? I also would love to know what they thought of The Flash, because if you're somebody who's only watching Supergirl and you love it, I have to believe that they would love The Flash also. It has that same tone, same humor, very fun show. I even love that Flash name-dropped Green Arrow and a bunch of other characters here. And another thing is I really like Barry Allen and their chemistry together. I know they never once even flirted with the idea of them being romantically linked in any way. And I like that. I like that they didn't go that way. But I will say that if they did, I wouldn't have minded. They had such great chemistry. I could have totally see them liking each other in that way. They were just really fun together. But of course that brings you to Jimmy Olsen, who was very much jealous seeing her with another guy, which is kind of like your typical show thing, your typical CW, or in this case CBS thing, where you have these two characters who like each other, who could very much be together if they both wanted, and they still do both want, but Jimmy, he needs time, whatever. But then when he sees her with somebody else, he's like, "Oh, this is blasphemy." Even Lucy saw it. It's like, okay, I get it if you needed time, but can you really be this upset? Maybe you can. Hell, I'm sure we're all human. We all have emotions like that, where it's almost like we didn't realize we would get jealous until we see it happen. That's true. I guess it's just out of everything going on in the episode, is this the time for him to be upset about this? Maybe not. I did love the line where Cat Grant saw the four of them together. Kara Barry Allen, Jimmy, and Wynn, and she said, "You guys look like the cast of a CW show." That was hilarious. Silver Banshee. That's what Siobhan turns into. She sort of fully embraces the side of her. I don't quite know how, like, okay, because she breaks Livewire out of that glass prison that the DEO had her in. And they have a supervillain team up, which is to be expected. And that was kind of cool, to be honest. Seeing two female villains team up together. This is kind of why I like Supergirl in certain ways, is because there is a lot of female characters and they're strong. Even if they're villains, they're still strong female type characters. So I'm fully with that. I love seeing Livewire because she was one of my favorite Supergirl villains, Superman villains from the cartoon. So I get a kick out of seeing her here. Now, she said that she wanted to give Siobhan a makeover, and then the next time we see her, she looks like Silver Banshee. The same Silver Banshee that was in her visions when she was freaking out. So I don't know how one goes with the other. I don't know if Livewire just turned her into that, or if that was all just makeup, and she was like, "You'd look better this way." I don't know. A little confusing, but still, she did kind of look cool. Did look villainous. I did like the moment. Again, this is me feeling bad for Siobhan, because when they both came in to kidnap Cat Grant, Wynn went up to Siobhan and was like, "Look, you don't have to do this. You don't have to be evil. It's like with me and my father, and like you don't have to go down this path." I liked all of that. It was one of those things where you don't want to see this villain go down this path, but she can't help it. She's evil. She's fully embraced it by this point. And they kidnapped Cat Grant, which is something that the whole point, I thought, was to kill Cat and kill Supergirl so that Siobhan can kill Kara. They don't know that they're one and the same. So the whole kidnapping thing, it's a little silly. They could have just killed Cat Grant there and then waited for Supergirl. Or, I mean, Livewire can go into any electrical outlet ever, or any power source around the city, like when she gave them the message at the DEO to come find us here. It's like she could have just gone there. It's like, if you want to kill these characters, kidnapping and luring, like, how well does that go? And they brought her to, like, the middle of the park. So again, a little silly, but whatever. What are you going to do? I liked seeing Supergirl and Flash go there. Flash did get a little beat up, which I didn't love that. I wish he helped more, mattered more in the fights. But okay, this is something that Supergirl kind of had to do on her own. She protected the helicopter from getting electrocuted. She took the electricity, fell to the ground, and the people all around saw her, saw that, and was like, wow, this is something that, she lost the trust of a lot of people that time with the red kryptonite, so she won them back over here. And you could say that it was a little too quick or a little too convenient, just certain things like that. Sure, but I still liked it. I still liked how they took some time with her dealing with it and her being so upset by it, by what happened, and wanting to win people over. The fact that it just happened naturally, like what Barry told her, I thought was great. This is something that I almost wanted them to do in the Batman vs. Superman movie with the Superman character. I won't go too much into that. Obviously, I've made 2 videos about it, but just the whole idea of like Superman or Supergirl having to win the people over after losing trust for them, like that's it. That's what you want to see in the character. You want to see the people just fully embrace her again. And in here, they did that. So they defeat them because of the firefighters who sprayed water on Livewire, which is kind of something that, I get it, it makes sense, but it almost looks too easy to defeat Livewire now. Like this whole time, Supergirl never thought to use water again when they were planning on how to take them out. But yet the firefighters figured it out. It's kind of funny, but oh well, semantics. At the end of the episode, we see Supergirl and Flash have a race, and she throws him back to his world. So that was very cool. And then the last scene was she finally kisses Jimmy, and he goes into some trance. You find out that this is some plan that Nam has going on. Honestly, as far as the main plot goes, I haven't cared since Astra died. I get why they killed Astra, to have that drama with Alex and Kara, I guess. But, like, I don't care about Nam. I don't. He's not an interesting villain. He's very generic. Astra was a lot more interesting, and they've killed her. So, there you go. Even with all that, this episode was great. I can't count how many times I geeked out and just yelled at the TV. Superhero team up! Flash and Supergirl! I think the only thing that would have made this better, since you had the two female villains, is if this was like Supergirl and Batgirl teaming up. That would really, like, be the greatest episode ever. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below if you two saw this episode. What did you think of it? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.